And we are back, and we just went to the theater to watch 2024's Wicked, the film adaptation of the musical play based on Gregory Maguire's novel of how maybe what you think you know about the Wicked Witch of the West is not true. This comes to us from director Jon M with writing credits to Winnie Holzman, Dana Fox, and Gregory Maguire, and stars the just absolutely luminescent. The MVP here is absolutely Cynthia Erivo. She is just from frame one, just the definition of magnificence. Her voice is just heart-stopping. I can't get enough of her. She just was, to me, the most interesting thing in every shot that she's in. I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. I took my lovely children with me to the theater. Olive G, we actually saw this on Broadway for your birthday a few years back. How do you think the play holds up against the film? And is there something that one of them does better than the other, in your opinion?
Well, I couldn't really say because the movie isn't finished. So,
right. That was another thing.
There's still the ending part. But, like, I guess you could say, like, because, like, it's a movie, so, like, they're not doing it in real time. Mm-hmm. So, like, the special effects, I think, are, like, better than, like, the Broadway one because, like, they're just doing that by hand and, you know, they don't have a look.
Sure.
Like that.
Yes, the winged monkeys in the film are definitely more impactful than they would be on the stage play.
Yeah.
What did you think of, I don't remember the actresses that did the Broadway play, but what do you think of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo?
They were good.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite of the two?
I mean, I love Elphaba. Like,
Elphaba's
10 times more than Galinda.
Yeah, she is the faux shizzle. This is part 1 of 2, which you mentioned. This clocks in at 2 hours and 40 minutes, and yeah, it felt it.
At times it did. Yeah, it was a long movie, but I don't think that it was bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I mean, there was something happening all the time.
Yes.
But at the
some
same...
of which I feel like they could have cut out.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I absolutely agree with you, Gigi. I think some of it... Listen, when you see a Broadway show, there is a start, a middle, and a finish. And I kind of feel like because this is based off the Broadway show of the novel, it kind of hurts the story to drag it out like that because you forget. I mean, I'm assuming the second part of this isn't going to come out till sometime around this time next year. So now you've got months and months in between. So not that you're going to lose an audience, right? Because I think this movie has so far done phenomenally well in the theater, and I think that it appeals to a lot of people. I think if you're going to go to a Broadway show or a movie is still going to be way less expensive than going to a Broadway show. I think if you're a theater kid, this speaks to you. I think if you love Ariana Grande, this speaks to you. If you are a fan of any of the other actors or actresses in this production, this will speak to you. However, I think that it sort of loses a little because you're making it bigger than it should be. Not bigger than it should be. I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like if the play is 3 hours long, the film should be 3 hours long. And you don't really need to add more stuff to it to build an audience, because this thing is going to come with an audience on its own. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know. Maybe if the release on the second one isn't too far away into the future, maybe. But I feel like, I don't know. It would have been nice to see the whole production in one go. What do you say, G?
I'm not a big fan of long movies, to be honest. Especially when there's more than one part. Like Spider-Verse, I wouldn't say that was like this. I felt every minute of the 2 hours and 40 minute runtime. But Spider-Verse, obviously, it went really fast because I really enjoy the movie. But I don't like how movies are split up into
and also
parts.
We hope that the voice actor.
Oh my God! Stop.
Yeah. Don't ruin this. I will end you.
They need to replace him at this point. Just get him away from Haley, bro.
Yeah, and just women in general.
Yeah, he can't be around any of them without something weird happening or him being called a freaking weirdo.
Yeah,
because he is. What is wrong with him?
I don't know. But getting back to Wicked, Did you have a favorite character, G?
Probably Elphaba.
Elphaba was the bomb diggity.
Yeah.
Does your generation say that? Bomb diggity?
Not at all. I've never heard anybody besides you say that.
Do you know what it means?
I guess the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bomb diggity.
I know what the bomb is. You know, so yeah.
Bomb diggity.
All right, we can move on now.
What do you guys think of the actual story? Here, I think we eventually got you kids to watch the Wizard of Oz, but I think it's interesting. I know that I read the novel many, many years ago. I think even before I met your dad, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And unfortunately, I don't have the attention span to read like I used to. So obviously, I'm more a consumer of movies. But to take a beloved story like the Wizard of Oz and then create this universe where you're now going to take one of these characters and give them an origin story, which is basically what the author does. And the crux of the story is, what if what you think you know about this person isn't really true? And in the novel, Elphaba, who becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, she isn't who you think she is. She's certainly not the Wicked Witch of the West of Wizard of Oz. She is more empathetic and kind and gentle. And there's something tragic about her character.
Yes.
So tell me what your thoughts are as far as that part of the story. And then tell me what your thoughts are just on that theme and in relation, I guess, to everyday life.
Like the theme of
Judging somebody
Right.
unduly, because that's a big thing here, especially with Elphaba's character. I don't remember in the play, but there's that whole big thing where they sneak out to go to I guess some club to dance.
Yeah, I didn't remember that from the play, but
I don't
fell
remember that from
asleep
the-
when we went to the play, so.
Yeah, you did.
No, that was in the play.
Was it? But
Yeah.
it wasn't as long and drawn out as it is in the film.
Yeah, no.
No. But in the film, it's a pivotal scene
Yes.
because that is the moment where Galinda gains a bit of compassion towards Elphaba. And then that's from that moment on is when they become friends. Again, the idea of judging a book by its cover. So I'm going to ask you kids the idea or the themes behind the story and the film too, and even to an extent the play, of judging someone based on maybe something that you've heard of them, not really knowing the person, right? In the beginning of this film, everybody's glad that the Wicked Witch is dead. However, you come to realize that Galinda actually had a personal relationship with Elphaba.
Even though she kind of tries to downplay it.
And she does kind of try to downplay it at the beginning. But when you see it, of the two, Elphaba is actually a better person than Galinda.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Olive G, what do you think of the idea of judging a book by its cover, or prejudging somebody based on maybe something that you heard? Is that something that you've experienced?
What do you mean by like being judged?
Well, I mean, people just automatically have an idea of Elphaba just based on how she looks, right? If she has green skin. She actually has like a whole litany, like, no, I'm not sick. Yes, I am green.
No, I didn't eat grass as a kid.
No, I didn't eat grass as a kid.
No, I'm not seasick. No, I didn't eat grass as a kid. And yes, I've always been green.
All right,
exactly.
but we didn't need that.
Those are her disclaimers when she meets somebody. What do you think of that a person has to constantly justify their existence?
That's stupid.
It is stupid, isn't it? And yet it happens. I'm sure it happens within the cosmos of school. I know when I was your age, being in the wrong clique was social suicide to an extent. And kids your age are very judgy. And yet this is something that's probably been happening since the dawn of time. And yet we don't learn any lessons from it. And we keep marching to the same beat of the drum. And in this story, obviously it's more exaggerated. We don't know anybody with green skin, but what would you think of somebody if they came into your classroom? Oh, hey, we have a new student, and she looked like Elphaba.
I don't know. Like, I never thought of that before. I don't really care about other people's personal opinions because it's not mine. So, like, if they don't like me, then they don't like me, and I don't care. So, like, that's their problem.
Okay. Would you be mean to somebody because somebody else told you, oh, they're ugly, look at their green skin, or they're weird?
No.
No? Okay. That's good to know. Did you learn anything from this film?
No.
No?
What?
I just want to get your impressions. You're giving me one-word answers.
It's a movie.
I know, but movies sometimes teach lessons. What do you think the lesson here is?
Not judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, I think that's a great lesson to learn from this story. I think that's very important. I certainly wouldn't want to be judged on something silly as like physical appearance. Gee, what did you think of the Galinda character played by Ariana Grande?
I mean, Ariana played her really well. She
did.
She was so like
Insufferable.
Oh my God, yeah. And you said in the theater, she's vapid. That's like the perfect word to describe her. She's so like there's nothing going on in her head.
No.
It's just like, oh, like I'm beautiful. Like she really like doesn't care at all. It's so strange. Like her parents are like, oh, we're gonna miss you so much, and then she like turns away and sighs like, oh, they're gonna miss me so much. Like not even I'm gonna miss them. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. She thinks absolutely so highly of herself that when Fiyero starts acting weird, she doesn't think anything of it because there's no way that he could possibly not be interested in her.
Right.
Because she's Galinda.
Yeah.
It's just, she played it really well.
Yes.
And I liked her singing voice. Although I think you told me in the theater that originally she wanted to be Elphaba. And I think Cynthia's was the better pick, obviously.
Yes,
Cynthia's voice was amazing.
Yeah.
At the end of the film, the Defying Gravity sequence was my favorite. That was really good.
That was really and thanks for bringing that up, G. I think that sequence at the end was very impactful and really well done. I'm going to out myself and say I'm not a big fan of the director, Jon Chu. God bless him, he's made a career of making these films that do extremely well, like Crazy Rich Asians and In the Heights and other things, but I'm not a big fan. But I have to tell you, as long as this film is, this was really good. This was really good. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I was kind of going in like, oh, I've heard good things, but I don't know.
Right. Same. And I think that I tempered my expectations and I was pleasantly pleased here. We saw Sonic 3 earlier in the week, and obviously, if you're going to ask me who the MVP is, it's absolutely Sonic.
But they're different films,
but they're different films, yes. And this was entertaining, and I think that the themes within the story are really well done as they are in the play, but it's nice that they're put into this film format for a wider audience. Again, you're not going to have everybody go to the theater, but films are more accessible to the masses, and I hope that people take the time to see this film. My only complaint is I would have liked it for it to be one entire storytelling experience, but that's just me. But I think it still works. I think the production values on this thing are out of this world. Just gorgeous. The costuming, the makeup work, the set design, the choreography, the songs, which probably are from the play itself. I don't know if there's any new music. I didn't really deep dive on this, but it all works. Again, like G mentioned, I'd read that Ariana Grande had wanted to do Elphaba, and rightly so. She is the main point of view character in this story, and probably the more interesting and nuanced and layered one because of her story trajectory, right? But Ariana she holds her own. I think she sang more than Cynthia did, unfortunately.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think she had more musical numbers, but I think that, and not to take away from Ariana Grande, because she's absolutely a fantastic singer, but pound for pound, Cynthia Erivo's voice is just amazing, and I loved everything that she does on the screen. Her eyes are so expressive. Her voice just carries. And again, to G's point, that end sequence with Defying Gravity, this is one sequence that And it's funny because while I was watching the film, I was like, I wonder if they'll end it there or they'll end it before Defying Gravity. I'm glad that the filmmaker decided to end with Defying Gravity, because that is probably one of the stronger songs in the play. And the way it's done here in the film is just out of sight. Really, really well done. Olive G, did you like the movie more than the play?
No.
No, you like the play more?
Well, I can't decide because it's not a full movie.
But from what you saw?
I mean, it's okay.
I mean, movies and plays are very different.
The movie could have been cut shorter. It was way too long and like it kind of annoyed me that like they stretched some of those sequences really long. Like they could have cut out like a lot of it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I felt it was very long. It didn't have to mirror the play exactly, but it would have been nice to sit through one storytelling experience. What did you think of the wizard, played by Jeff Goldblum?
I hate the wizard.
You hate the wizard? What about Madame Morrible?
I also hate her.
I love Michelle Yeoh, but yeah, she wasn't a good character. And then you find out that she's not a good character, right?
Yeah.
As a younger sister, what did you think of Nessa Rose? Did you like her? Did you dislike her? Was she as cool as Elphaba?
She was just there.
Did you think she was a good sister?
She barely got any screen time. How am I supposed to decide if she's a good sister?
I mean, just from the scenes in the film where she's kind of mean to Elphaba.
I mean, she wanted a fresh start.
She did. And I guess she felt like Elphaba was encroaching on her opportunity here.
Yeah.
But even still, I don't think Elphaba was she was very kind to her sister, and she looked after her, even though her father very much favored the younger sister, right?
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And you also get that the first night after where they go dancing, where Galinda and Elphaba talk, and she tells her that the reason her sister's in a chair is her fault. What did you think of that revelation?
It wasn't her fault.
It wasn't her fault, right? And Galinda tells her that too. But I'm sure some habits die hard, and I'm sure she didn't believe it. I wonder if Nessa Rose blamed her sister in some ways because she could walk and Nessa couldn't.
I don't know. There isn't much given about her character other than the fact she's just in a wheelchair and she's her sister.
Okay. All right. You know what? We'll wrap it up. 1 to 10, G. What would you give this film?
Maybe a 7 or an 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it? Would you recommend it?
Maybe. One of my friends already watched this film, and she really, really, really liked it. So
did it live up to the hype?
I guess so. Yeah, it's definitely a long film, and that's the critique I have with most movies is how the runtime is, because sometimes I just don't want to be sitting down. Especially, all right, before we end, the theater we went to was dog crap. Oh my God, it was awful.
Those seats were
I don't know
gross.
if I've gotten used to going to the nice theater, but yeah, the seats were so grimy. And the amount of trailers was ridiculous.
It was half an hour.
Oh my God, yeah. It was not that long when we went to see Sonic. And then the end, they just had that whole segment where it was just the self-glaze. It's oh, we make movies better. No, you don't. The viewing experience was terrible. I didn't let my head rest on the seat because it was disgusting. It looked like someone took a pencil and just drew on the seats. It was weird.
I kept my hood up. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Yeah, I leaned over on your shoulder because I didn't want to lean my head back.
Yeah.
The seats were gross, and the floor was sticky, and dude.
And at one point, I thought these people are going to talk, and I'm just going to be super annoyed. There was a lot more people for a Monday afternoon than I thought there would be.
There was.
Yeah.
I guess the film was just popular.
Yeah, I guess this is the week to see it. I'm sure a lot of people are off from work or taking off. So
Right.
Yeah. Olive G, 1 to 10. What are you going to give this film?
7.
A 7. AMC versus Epic. Who's the winner?
Dude, that's not even a question. Don't go to AMC.
Don't go to AMC, especially not the one on 42nd Street.
I remember them being better. I don't know.
I think it's because when they first opened up and they were brandy new, like everything was nice but those seats have seen better days.
Yeah, they were cracked open. Oh my God. And the amount of escalators we had to go up.
We had to go to the top floor. Yeah, that was nuts too.
Crazy.
And there was a line for the bathroom.
Yes. Well, there's always a line for the bathroom.
Yeah, there's always a line for the bathroom.
Yeah, but
even
like,
in the
only
nice
3
theaters.
stalls.
Oh, yeah,
That's
the bathroom
true.
is ridiculous. There's literally 4 stalls in there. Like, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if they had more stalls than that.
the epic bathroom I could live in, I feel
Oh,
like.
my God, it's so fancy.
And nice.
the stall doors are so big. There's no gaps for people to see through. I freaking hate in public bathrooms with stalls, there's like 2-inch gaps where anybody could just peek in and look at you while you're peeing.
Yeah, that's annoying. I'm with you, G. I'm with you.
Yeah, so.
All right, so 7,
They have that
8,
in the
7.
school bathrooms.
Huh?
What'd you say?
Like the gap, cause like there's this one bathroom in like the near the in like the basement where there's just like this big ass gap, and it's not even near the door, cause like it's like latching like onto the wall, so there's just like this big gap, and it's right near the door, so people can just peep in.
Never use that
weird,
bathroom.
bro.
Yeah. All right. I like this film, but it was too long. It was too long, and I agree with you, G. I think the venue is a little crap. Although that shouldn't impact my number for the film. I'm gonna give this a 7. I enjoyed it, but my only critique was that I wish this would had just been one whole story. To divide it up like that seems a little extra in my book. But just again, hats off to the production, because they did a spectacular job. Again, to translate a musical to a film, you're obviously going to take some liberties. I wish they hadn't too much, but it is what it is. And I'm assuming both pieces are filmed at this point. And I guess we'll look forward to seeing the second part. Hopefully I'll remember most of the first part when the second part comes around. This is probably going to be nominated for score and costuming and makeup at next year's Oscars. So I guess keep an eye out for that. Let us know what you think in the comments. Please, let's keep the conversation going. And we are going to wrap it up, and we will bid you all a
Good night.
good night.